report first, and then he can log off.
Okay, thank you. Hey, Courtney. All right, so I think about 3 of us have forwarded the bills, so we'll do that part first. I hope everyone's had an opportunity to review the bills. Does anyone have any questions about the bills for 429 and 513?
Nope.
No, okay. Yeah, so if I could make a motion to approve the bills for 429 and 513.
I second the motion.
All right. And then the next part, I know last meeting we got our final December number.
We should vote on that motion.
Oh, all in favor?
All in favor for both of the 429 and 513 bills to approve?
Okay.
Any opposed? All right, they are approved. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Matt. And for the May 2021 financial report, I got a whole 3 months of financials from Erica. So that's always nice. We're not talking about January. We're all the way up to January, February, March. So a little more current. Upon analyzing them, everything looks good in terms of what our bills are paid and everything like that. But obviously the numbers are going to fluctuate greatly year over year. One major factor is that we didn't have all our full-time staff. So when it comes to payroll expenses and taxes and employee benefits, they're going to be much higher than they were in comparison to 2020. So you'll see that on 610 and 615. And then a lot of things are for, and then for expenses, they're also going to be a lot higher because with having a director, we're going to be doing collection development. We're going to be doing, I said collection development, just programs, everything like that. So in all, expenses are up. Income is also up a lot because of just the interest income environment. January, February, March, the market was crashing, interest rates were crashing. So we have more income. So for our net ordinary income, it's only off 0.6%, even though it's been wildly volatile. I did attach all the reports for January, February, March, but my report is just gonna kind of cover the whole entire quarter. And then just the last little bit would be the balance sheet. Again, our checking account is going to be up because of the previous temporary closure and the PPP loans. The Friends account is finally down. It's good to see things are happening. We have, the FOIA development happening. So they're spending money. That's great. And so in terms of new business, it's not in these financials, but looking at the balance sheet, the statements, on April 20th, we did get our 414 funds from the town of Washington for $184,000. So that's the majority of our government support. And also, I asked Erica, and maybe Courtney, you could reinforce that with her. We really like the financials versus the budget, because looking at the financials year over year with 2 such wildly different years is not going to be productive. I'll be kind of always saying this is way off and this is way off, but with a budget in respect to a normal year, maybe that'll give us a better idea. So hopefully I can present those to you next meeting. Does anyone have any questions about the January through March reports or the financial report?
Looks
All
good.
right, thank you. So I would like to make a motion to approve the May 2021 financial report that covers the first quarter.
I'll make a motion. A second. Michael, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? All right, then the financial report is approved.
All
Thank
right,
you very much, Mark.
no problem. You guys still have quorum if I head out?
Yes, yes, we do.
All right, and just hopefully there wasn't any bad language in the background, but all right, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later. Thank you.
Have fun.
All right. So our next order of business is to approve the April 20th meeting minutes that Carrie sent around. Did everyone have a chance to look at them, or are there any comments or discussion about any of the anything in the minutes? All right.
Good.
I would like to make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from April 20th. Do we have a second? Matt, and all in favor to approve? No opposed? All right, thank you for that, Carrie. So I just have a few reminders. And Kim, if you have any questions at any point, feel free to ask. I just have a few things, and just basically these are reminders about our annual disclosure form, which I sent around. I am also going to be sending around an updated committee list, and Kim can take a look at that and let us know where she thinks, or maybe we'll say, hey, we could use a hand over here. But I'll send that around after this meeting. And we also are still looking for a Friends liaison. And Kim, I don't know if you're familiar with the Friends of the Library. They're a volunteer group who do fundraising and projects around the library. And one of our board members would be a liaison attending their meetings, which right now they haven't been meeting. But I think they're going to start soon. Or Courtney, do you have any news on that?
No.
No. Okay.
They keep saying that they want to, but I haven't heard an official date.
Okay. So the idea would just be to be a board liaison to the Friends group. And then we also need a new chair of our fundraising committee. And I think that was it. Kim, did you want to say anything as we welcome you to our board?
Just thank you for having me. I have 3 children under the age of 14, and we go to the library all the time. I don't know if Courtney's seen us there, but we usually go every Wednesday. And it's really, I'm really excited to be a part of helping out with the library and making it a greater place. I mean, it's a great place now, but an even greater place, and supporting it in any way that I can. So I'm just happy to be here.
Great. Well, we're happy to have you and so glad you agreed to join us. All right, that was all I had. Does anyone have any questions before we move on to Courtney's report?
Well, Kim, how's your fundraising background?
It's okay. I don't know a lot of people in town, but I'm friendly enough. I'm sure I could help out in any way.
Well, keep that in mind. All right, Courtney, I'm going to turn the floor over to you. Thanks.
All right. So first thing I have is COVID-19 updates. And I had one bullet point on my report when I sent it around, and then the mask thing happened. So I do want to talk about that a little bit. But for right now, what I'd like to do is I'm planning on opening up all the computers again starting on June 7th. I think it's time. People have been very patient, but I think we're feeling comfortable enough where we can actually open up all the computers. So then we're basically back to normal services, except for in-person indoor programming, which hopefully we'll get to by fall. We'll see. In terms of the mask updates, right now, there's been a lot of discussion on the director's email list about this. And I know Adrian's is planning on allowing people in the building without masks. But I know we have some staff members that aren't vaccinated yet. And we also have a lot of kids that come into the library that are 12 and under that haven't been vaccinated yet. So for the foreseeable future, I would like to keep our mask rule in place where masks need to be worn at all times. just because I think we can really justify it with the fact that we serve children and they're not able to be vaccinated yet. So that's my thought on that. I am anticipating, I'm like waiting for the person to walk in that doesn't agree with this, and I'm trying to prepare all my information that I can. And we are allowed to set our own rules as an association library, so we're not doing anything wrong. But I just wanted to know if anybody had any questions or like thoughts about that.
Is it possible to have a reading room for those who are going to give you trouble? Adults only, vaccinated people or something?
That's something that we could possibly look at doing in the future, but for right now, I still really want to keep it at masks for everybody, just because I think it's going to get very complicated very fast, like verifying who is vaccinated, asking people to show their vaccination cards, and I don't really want the staff to have to deal with that yet. So maybe in the future, but not yet.
How far would you be willing to go if somebody really gives you a hard time? I can picture it happening.
Oh
People
yeah, no,
are
me too.
very
And for right now, I'll say our policy has not changed, where if you don't want to wear a mask and be in the building, you can't. We can provide services to you through curbside, which has kind of been our policy all along. If you feel like that you can't wear a mask in the building or for medical reasons or whatever reason, we provide alternate services. So. But I feel, especially just since not everybody on the staff is vaccinated yet, I really want to protect all of us working here first. So,
is there a policy directive to get vaccinated by the staff members?
no, and we can't technically mandate that. That's been something that's come up in a lot of the COVID briefings and information that Rebecca's been giving out from Mid-Hudson, and we cannot technically mandate staff to get vaccinated. But I think for the most part, everybody is planning on it. I just don't think everybody has yet. So I don't think there's any resistance to it. It's just, it hasn't happened.
Because vaccinations are readily available now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know some people are waiting for a variety of reasons.
I support you being cautious on that. We're doing the same thing. We're keeping masks on for the whole school as well. I think for now it's the right call for you to be making that choice.
Yeah, I just want to really wait until more people are vaccinated, and especially once I think we'll be able to really hopefully change this once kids start being able to be vaccinated more. But like I said, I just feel like because we have kids that come into the library that just can't get vaccinated yet, that we should wait on it.
Yeah, I think it very much falls into a school type category here.
All right, so if there are no other questions on that, I'm going to move forward with building updates. So Otis came out for our quarterly elevator inspection, so that's all set. Calculated Fire Protection came out to test our sprinkler system, and they took measurements of the sprinkler heads, and they're planning on putting in 2 new ones and swapping them out with 2 old ones, which will go to be tested. And I guess if they don't meet the testing standards, we will need to replace all the sprinkler heads. So fingers crossed, everything's good and we don't need to do that. And American Heating and Cooling came out and they replaced our bearings in one of our cooling units that were causing a bad smell, as well as a pulley belt. And they have come back to look at the lack of AC in the kids section in the nonfiction room, and it's determined that one of our air units has a leak and is leaking refrigerant, and there's no refrigerant in it. So they're coming out on Friday to fix the leak and put refrigerant in it. So hopefully, I know last year we had a lot of issues with spaces in the library not being cooled, and hopefully this will not be an issue as much this year with this fixed. So we're on our way for that. With collection updates, we're shifting the fiction collection now that it's been completely weeded. And I'm really excited to say that I've officially signed up for the Baker & Taylor Sustainable Shelves Program. So this is something that Baker & Taylor, which is our major book vendor, is starting to do, where if we send them a list of books that we're weeding from the collection, they'll go through it and they'll pick out books that they either would like to recycle or purchase from us, and then we can send the books to them and it's free shipping. So I figure this is a really nice way for us to kind of weed our collection faster, because I've been kind of limited to what can fit on the orange cart so far, that people take free books from. So I'm really hoping this will speed things up and we may get some money from it, which would be nice. For development and grants, I think I've officially finished the spring appeal letter today. So I'm going to have everybody kind of look it over and just make sure that there's no issues with it. I'll send that out probably tomorrow. And then if everybody agrees that it's good, I'll work on sending it to the printer and we'll get that out. I would like to apply for the construction grant this year as well. And this kind of goes with the building. And I would kind of like everyone's thoughts on what project this money should be put towards, because we do have two major things coming up that need to be fixed according to our facility plan, which is the HVAC system, which we all know about. And our roof really needs some repairs. We're losing ceiling tiles now, so it's got to get done. So I was hoping, especially you, Michael, if you'd have any thoughts on what I should really focus on for this grant.
I just received it. I made the engineer make some edits in their report. I just forwarded it to you. I just got it.
Okay.
And so I'm requesting that you send it to your contact at American Heating.
Okay.
So that they can look at it and see if they can come up with a cost estimate for the work, so we know what the budget for.
Okay.
Would you be able to figure out what both projects would cost and apply for whatever both of them would be?
I think I would probably request help getting a roof repair estimate, just because I haven't done that before and I don't really know what the process is. So I'd like
So I
help.
can give you, J&A has been out there and has done patching for us for free.
Okay.
They could probably come out and work up a scope and a cost.
Okay.
J&A roofing.
And I'm thinking, just judging by our facility plan, I'm guessing we're going to need to replace like the whole roof at this point, because it has been, and in 2022, it'll be 20 years, I believe. And that's the time in our facility plan that it should be up, like replaced. So I don't know if it's just repairs or if like I think the whole thing should be replaced.
Yeah, I mean, we're having so many leaks, I would say it's probably due for a replacement.
Yeah. So I'll look at what you sent me and send it to American Heating and Cooling, and then I'll look J&A Roofing.
J&A, I can send you the contact.
Okay. All right, and then I'll reach out to them and see if they can help us out. And then once I have an idea of what everything will cost, then I can submit the grant. So
Much is the grant, what's the top end of the grant amounts?
I don't remember off the top of my head, but it's a substantial amount. It's not like $10,000 or something. I think it goes pretty high. I can't
It
remember.
varies. Does it vary each year what the funds available that they have for the?
Yes, that depends on what is passed in the New York State budget. And I believe this year there was 34 million for the entire state, which I'm not sure how much is designated towards our system, but it was good. The governor proposed 14 and it ended up being 34, which was nice. So, all right, so I will look more into those things and then hopefully have an update at the next meeting. For finance, we sent all the work to the auditors for 2020, so we're just waiting for them to finish the work and send us the final financial report. So that feels pretty nice to have that done. It involved a lot of scanning, so it's good to say that it's officially over. The foyer project is pretty much complete. We've added things to the Historical Society display case and it looks really good. The one thing that we're having an issue with now and that we're waiting to open the space up for is the handles were put on the doors of the display case like in a way that doesn't allow it to lock. So we have to figure out how to remove the handles and be able to shut the doors all the way so that way it'll lock. But hopefully it's just a minor thing and we can figure out a way to do it. I think Ashley's working on it. So fingers crossed that as soon as that's done, we'll be able to actually open it up and show it off. It looks very, very nice. If you haven't come in to see it, I recommend it. It looks great. The friends did a really good job. So that's exciting. For outreach, our seed giveaway was really successful. We gave out 100 seed packets in 4 hours, and it was a good chance to teach people about what the library is doing to be more sustainable and kind of our sustainability project. So it was very cool. I know Jody stopped by and said hi, which was nice. And people seemed very excited about it, which it was good to see a lot of positive feedback from the community. So the annual report to the community is officially complete and has been printed. It's been mailed out. I got my copy. Hopefully everybody got their copy. The report is also now updated on our website. So it feels good to have that done in May instead of like September, which was last year. For personnel, the only update that I have is that Aaron started at the library on May 4th, and he's just been doing an awesome job. Aaron's worked here before, and he fits right in with our team. He's been interested in taking on new projects besides just working as the clerk. He's been trained in how to scan our local history stuff for the Bennett digitization project, so it's nice to have somebody else working on that. He's going to help me with the sustainable shelves weeding list too. So he's just jumped right in, and he's been doing an awesome job so far. Does anybody have any questions on what I've talked about so far? Okay. So programming, our outdoor open mic was a really big success. We had 16 people come, which was twice as many as we expected, which was great. And everybody respected the COVID protocols and was very respectful. And I think people just really enjoyed being able to be together outside. So we're looking at having some more outdoor programming in the next couple months. People tend to enjoy less educational programming and more relaxed programming in the summer, I found. So we're looking at kind of toning back the Zoom meetings a little bit, focusing more on like book club and film club and things like that that are more recreational, I guess. In addition, Abby is cutting down on the number of online programs that she personally runs during the summer in favor of bringing some outside organizations to bigger events outdoors. So I know for our summer reading kickoff, we're going to have the 2x2 zoo come, and they're going to have animals out for kids to enjoy, which is always exciting. And we're having yoga on the lawn. We're going to have a music class on the lawn. So it's kind of more focused on series for each month instead of just like her regular programming. For summer reading, we've officially started planning our summer reading program, and the theme this year is tales and tales. So tales like animal tales and tales like stories. So we're going to be holding a kickoff event outdoors in late June with a 2x2 zoo, and Abby, Terry, and Kristen are all planning their age bracket summer reading programs, and I'm pretty excited for what they have planned, so that should be fun. For sustainability, we've completed the greenhouse emissions entry, which was a big part of the project. I finally got that done. We had to enter 2 years of greenhouse emissions data, so that was a lot of going through old paperwork and putting in numbers and stuff, but it's done. And we had an energy audit yesterday that we needed actually as part of our sustainability project, as well as to apply for the construction grant. So it was good to kind of get that done and out of the way for both things. Something that I didn't have on my report when I sent it out, but I really wanted to include, is that I'm investigating a community composting program where we'd have a composting bin on library property for people to bring their kitchen scraps to. And so this actually, I was inspired by our conversation, Jody, where you were like, people are too nervous to do composting at home. And I was like, well, what if we can do it here at the library and just make it easy for them and teach them how to do it at home, so it's not too scary. So at this point, I'm talking with McLaughlin from the village building place. I forget what he's the building inspector, I think. And he's just verifying that we can have the compost bin on our property and it won't be an issue and doesn't need planning board approval. So I sent him an official letter with information on it today, and hopefully that'll be something that we can do moving forward. So I'm excited about that. I don't know any other libraries that are doing that, so I think it'll be pretty cool. For technology, we now have faxing services through MyFax. So we're charging $1 a page, and we've added a new department to the cash register to track the funds that this service brings in. So this service cost, it's less than $100 a year, and I think it'll pay for itself. We already sent our first fax the other day, so that was pretty exciting. One more thing that I wanted to add on here too is that I'm looking at adding a wireless printing function to our copier, because a lot of people come in with their laptops or phones and they'd like to print wirelessly. So I figured, I've heard enough people ask for it where I think it's worth getting. It's, I believe, $350 to add it to our lease, but I think it'll be really justified by the number of people that use it. So are there any questions before I get to the last thing on the list?
When will you be able to share the energy audit results with us?
Yes,
When you have them?
definitely.
I'd be interested. Thanks.
I think it'll take them, I think he said a few weeks to get it done, but they put like us kind of first, or like ahead of the list, because we have to get it done for the construction grant. So I'll definitely share that out. All right, so the last thing that I have on my list is Unionville. So I know at our last meeting, we voted to support the committee that Unionville residents are forming to go for a 414 vote to fund the library that way. However, I did get some information from one of the other directors, and she said that the lawyer drafting the petition for Unionville has said that there needs to be a retainer agreement in place for ethical reasons having to do with avoiding a conflict of interest. And so the cost for this agreement is estimated to be $1,000 across the 4 libraries, which comes out to about $250 a library. And I just wanted to confirm that even though there is this cost going forward, that we were still interested in supporting this process taken on by the Unionville committee members, because this is something that we didn't know of. And Jody asked a very good question, is this going to be the only cost? And I asked that to the library director, and she said she thinks so, but she can't guarantee it. So I just wanted to hear what everybody thought about this.
Could somebody just briefly explain this so that Kim can understand what the Unionville?
Yes.
It just, I'm sorry.
All right, no, very. All right. I don't know if I can
Thank you,
briefly
Sherry.
explain this, but
Or take all night.
This is one of those subreddits where they say, explain it to me like I'm 5.
Explain
All
it to
right.
all of us like we're 5.
all right, so I'm going to do my best here. Basically, the town of Unionville does not have library services. They don't have a library. So what has been in place for the past couple of years is the town of Unionville has had a contract with the 4 libraries who Unionville residents use the most, which is us, Beekman, LaGrange, and Dover. And the contract basically says that the town of Unionville provides us with a certain amount of money, and we provide library services. So that way their residents aren't getting library services for free when our residents have to pay for it. At the end of last year, correct me if I'm wrong, Jody, at the beginning of 2020, there was a lot of discussion about the contract, and ultimately the town supervisor of Unionville decided that they did not want to pay the money. So the Mid-Hudson Library System put restrictions on Unionville residents in September. So right now, Unionville residents can't check out anything but print items, and they have limited resources in terms of online resources. So they can't access Hoopla, which we have, they can't access Canopy, which we have. And this has happened before. In 2015, the town also did not want to pay for library services anymore. So the Mid-Hudson Library System put restrictions in place in 2015. And then a new town supervisor was voted in, and they agreed to pay again. So basically what's happening now is there's a group of Unionville residents that would like to take this into their own hands and put it into the town's decision instead of the town supervisor to decide. So this committee is organizing a 414 vote, which basically says that the residents either will agree or disagree to pay for library services, and it doesn't go through the town board at all. So if the residents vote yes on this, the town will just collect the money and distribute it to the libraries. And if they vote no, then we are where we are. So did that make sense? Do you have any questions? Okay. It's a billion times more complicated than that, but that is the basic summary. So basically, yeah. Basically what I wanted to see is if you all still felt like this was something that you wanted to support, even though it will cost us a bit of money.
So we're looking at $250 for this lawyer.
Mhm.
And what are they hoping he can do for them, or he or she can do for them?
So basically, the lawyer is drafting the petition. So she is writing the wording that will eventually go out to be signed by the residents. And I'm not very versed in legal things, but I believe that the retainer agreement that needs to be in place will cost us the money. But they really say that it's necessary to have in place because of ethical reasons and just to avoid having a conflict of interest in any way. So that's, I don't fully understand the lawyer aspect of it, but that's where we're at.
And
Just
the
wonder-
other, go ahead, Carrie.
I just wonder, does it matter who the lawyer is and what the lawyer's relationship to the group is? I don't know if we should be worried about any conflicts of interest, because if we're retaining an attorney, well, does our library have an attorney? Would there be any kind of conflict between using that one for that? And, what if we had to use ours for something that has to do with this? Does that make sense?
Those are all great questions, and I do not know the answer, but I can look more into it. I do know that the lawyer who is working on this, I believe don't quote me on this, but I believe she's a lawyer for the Beekman Library, and she has worked with libraries before. But I can find out, but I don't have the answer to that right now, unfortunately.
Do we have a lawyer?
Yes. I haven't had to use them yet, which is great.
Good.
But our attorney is Ellen. I'm gonna butcher his last name.
Probably, yeah.
Appleyard?
Yeah, yes.
He's everybody's attorney. He's our attorney.
He is everybody's attorney.
Yes.
I wonder if it would be a good idea just to ask him, just to find
Okay.
out the name and just ask him, say, basically what's being asked of us, and is it okay to go ahead? He'll probably just say, yeah, no problem.
Okay.
It's a good idea.
I
All right.
agree.
I can definitely do that. And then providing that he says there is no problem, would you all feel comfortable moving forward with it?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
balance
think so.
is okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have to have an official vote or if we want to have an official vote just to,
Well, we might as well. We can just, say that we would approve the $250 for the retainer agreement after we hear from Alan Rapier to approve the process.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing is when it's retainer or a lawyer, that doesn't mean it's like the whole fee.
Well, that was my question.
right,
What, is there going to be more?
right. And that's, like I said, I emailed Carol from Beekman and she said that she doesn't think so, but she can't 100% guarantee that.
So my vote would be up to $250, and then I don't know, like we need to know that, I think.
I think we approve provisionally a retaining fee for the lawyer upon advice of counsel.
That
pending.
sounds right. That sounds good.
And ask Alan about that.
Yeah. 'cause
Okay.
He will come back, and if he says that it's, don't sign up because it might be more, then we have to approve any further expenditure.
Exactly. Alan will know.
Okay. I will definitely, I'll call tomorrow and find that out.
All right, everybody agree with that decision?
Yes.
Okay, anybody opposed? All right, thanks, Courtney.
Yeah, no, thank you.
So Jody, if that was a motion and we can all just approve it, we don't have to.
Michael, I think Michael raised his hand a second.
Oh, you did. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't see. Thank
Great.
you.
And that is all I have.
All right. Does anybody have any other questions or anything else to, any comments or anything for Courtney?
Nothing offhand.
All right, thanks, Courtney. Ultimately, I think we've covered mostly committee reports, unless Michael, you have something else you want to add for building and grounds.
No, I just want well, there's one other thing I sent Courtney was, and I don't know, Courtney, if you need help, for the lighting fixtures. And I don't know if the energy audit did this for us already, but I need to going after rebates from Central Hudson. They want to document like all the light bulbs that you use in the building. And you guys might already have a list of the bulbs that you buy.
I don't, Scott probably has that information, but I know the guy who came to do the energy study was mentioning that we could have Central Hudson come out and take a look at what we have and potentially help us with the cost of switching everything to LED.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
think-
so I sent you that little chart, that little schedule. Scott could just, he doesn't have to fill it all out. If he could just like fill in like the things that he knows, like, oh, I had to get the A lamps for all those light fixtures in the old part of the library, and I get those compact fluorescent this type for the ones in the, the reading room or something.
Yeah, definitely. I will definitely take a look. And it seems like it would be pretty helpful. So
Because that's what Central Hudson wants to start with. They want to know how much energy you're using today, basically, through light bulbs. Okay,
All right.
great.
Thank you. Does anyone else have any new business or anything else that they'd like to bring up this evening? Like I said, we'll hope to be in person at some point, but we'll keep you posted on a meeting to meeting basis in advance. Our next meeting is June 15th. And Kim, if you have any questions in the interim, feel free to reach out to me or anyone else, and I'll be sending around, like I said, the disclosure form and the updated committee list. And Carrie, I'll put the term list on the Google Docs and send you a link. Anything else?
That was
All
quick.
right. We have a motion to adjourn our meeting for this evening.
So moved.
Second? Carrie? All right, guys, thanks so much. Have a good evening.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Nice